Okay, we're got a little screencast going on here. This is the first Fiction Vortex Intern screencast, and we'll pardon some yelling kids in the background here, but today we're going to cover how to import and split a doc file into Scrivener, and then how to compile that Scrivener episode, that content, into EPUB and Mobi episodes. So this is a basic skill that we'll need to do over and over with Fiction Vortex. So starting out here, I've got my Word open, my Word doc file open here. This happens to be episode 6 of Rangers War and the Hyperverse on The Verge. This is how I got the file back from the editor. So yeah, I went through, as I was the author on this one, so I went through as the author and confirmed all the edits, so that now you'll see, and when you're looking to compile, import and split, you want to make sure that there's no edits still on here and that the tracking is off, so that it's not showing like any green words or anything that will import funny into Scrivener. So you can look through here and all the comments have been approved or disapproved. Everything is just back to showing the final document. And then you'll also want to double check to make sure that you've got some sort of indicator symbol in between each section, because that's how Scrivener knows where to split the import, so that saves you from having to go in and cut and paste and split everything by hand. Typically I use 3 number signs, that way in case there happens to be in the story the author used a number sign for some reason, then Scrivener would split that into 2 scenes if you're just using 1 number sign. So I put 3 because then I'm like, okay, nowhere in the story has the author used 3, but just sometimes you might get a file from an author that has 1, or they're using a different symbol or whatever, or you can, in this case, I had to go in and put these symbols in to make sure that everything was split where I wanted it to. So that's all set up. All you have to do here is just save the file. I've saved it to my desktop, so I've got it over here. Hyperverse, Rangers War, Episode 6 on The Verge, waiting for me. So don't need Word anymore. Here is Scrivener. If you aren't accustomed to Scrivener, you're going to have to get accustomed to Scrivener. So on this side on the left over here is the main organization binder for everything. This is the Hyperverse file. And so the Hyperverse file has all the Hyperverse serials in it. So this is the folder for Rangers War. This is the folder for Extinction Force, Brunning Divide. Down here we've got Blighted Aura and Hope's End. So all of those are in this same file. We're going to be dealing with Rangers War today, so I'm going to open that back up, go down here. Here's where I created the original episode 6 on The Verge, but now we need to import the new edited version so that we can replace my old unedited version. So we're highlighted on that just so we'll import into the right place. I'm going to go up to File, come down to Import, and then under here we've got Import and Split. So I'm going to click on that, and then it's going to ask me, okay, well, what do you want to import and split? I'm going to go to my desktop. I'm going to find my Hyperverse file, which is in here somewhere. Where is it? There it is. Hyperverse Rangers War Ep 6 on The Verge. And then it's asking me, what do you want the sections to be separated by? And it was the triple number sign. So I'm going to make sure that it's, every time it finds a triple number sign, it's going to split. And then I import and split. This is going to take just a few seconds. We'll get the little swirling beach ball. All right, then it has imported those. These are the original ones at the top that I had, and then here is where it started importing. And so there is a little bit of cleanup I'm going to need to come in and do here, because I don't need any of this header stuff that was on the original edited document. This isn't really going to matter because it's going to reformat this on the back end according to how we compile the document, so I'm not going to worry about like fixing any of this stuff, tabs or whatever. So I'm going to rename this back to 1. 2, yeah, it looks like I'm going to need to come in and take that header out in each of these. So that, because that will, again, that will be added in the compiler on the back end. So we don't need it to be in the body of the text and in the compiler. And I'm not sure why. So this particular editor likes to do his stuff in Google Drive, and then I downloaded it from Google Drive back to a doc file before I imported it here, and so every now and then there's these weird, like this whole paragraph is over here and then everything else is tabbed over here. But again, I don't think any of that will matter once we compile, because we'll ignore the formatting in the actual document and compile it the way that we want. We just want to make sure that there's no added words or spaces at the end or anything, which there's basically just have to take these headers out. All the way down to the last section. And then at the last section, I'll want to make sure that there's the standard end of episode, and this happens to be episode 6. Read more Hyperverse, since this is the Hyperverse serial box. @, and then we've got the URL in there. So that stayed in there, that's all working fine. So above my copyright here, these are the old files. So I'm going to shift click on all of those so I can highlight them all at once. So that's how I did that. I was clicked on the bottom, then I shift clicked, and now I'm going to right click to have access to all of this stuff. And then I'm just going to move all these to the trash. And then I'm going to take my copyright and put it back down at the bottom again. Double check to make sure I've got all the different serials added in here, all the authors. Yeah, so this is an up-to-date copyright. Okay, so that